What if the secret to a longer, more fulfilling life isn't about doing more, but about letting go? As you enter your 60s, this question becomes more than just thought-provoking, it becomes essential. This stage of life is an invitation to shift your focus, to stop accumulating and start releasing. It's about clearing out what no longer serves you, whether that's habits, mindsets, or the pressures that have weighed you down for years. By letting go, you create the space for something far more valuable: peace, clarity, and the freedom to enjoy life on your own terms. Imagine what it feels like to enter this chapter not burdened by the unnecessary, but liberated by your choices. For centuries, wise minds have taught that by the time we reach 60, we should be able to hear the voice within more clearly. It's about aligning with your true self, living with purpose, and finding freedom in the simplicity of life. The clutter, both mental and physical, that once seemed so important begins to lose its grip on you. By the time you're 70, you should feel an even greater sense of freedom, one that comes from living authentically and without compromise. Picture your life as a stream. When you remove the debris, the water flows smoothly and clearly. That's what this stage of life can feel like when you begin to release what's unnecessary and focus on what truly matters. But what should you actually let go of? It's not just about bad habits or decluttering your home, it goes much deeper than that. As you step into your 60s, it's about identifying the thoughts, emotions, and attachments that no longer contribute to your well-being. These are the invisible chains that hold you back, often without you even realizing it. Letting go of them doesn't mean losing anything. It means gaining a life that is lighter, freer, and filled with the joy that comes from living with purpose. By making this shift, you unlock the potential to make these years some of the best of your life, full of health, contentment, and true peace. Don't lose your temper with family members. Have you ever noticed how easily tensions can rise when we're around those we love the most? As we grow older, it becomes crucial to recognize that our interactions with family hold significant weight, not just for us but for them too. When we let our emotions get the best of us, we risk creating distance with the people we're meant to feel closest to. Those fleeting moments of frustration may leave scars far deeper than we realize. So, how do we handle these situations better? We must first acknowledge that age doesn't entitle us to always be in control or dictate how others should live. It's easy to rely on the respect we've earned over the years, but respect is not something we should wield as a weapon. Dictating to our children or grandchildren with the assumption that we know better often leads to resentment. Instead, we should focus on listening, asking more questions, and seeking to understand. When we show empathy and patience, we build stronger, more harmonious connections with our family members. Holding onto our temper not only strengthens family bonds but also brings peace into our own lives. When we speak calmly, with understanding, we become a source of wisdom rather than criticism. This creates an environment where our loved ones feel safe, valued, and open to our advice. Isn't that the type of relationship we all strive for? Relationships where everyone feels heard and respected, no matter the age difference. We want to be remembered for the kindness we offered, not the moments we lost control. We must also remember that cherishing the present moment is a gift to ourselves. In the rush of daily life, especially as we age, it's easy to become preoccupied with regrets or fears about the future. But life is happening now. Right here. These moments with family, friends, and even strangers are what make life rich. Investing in these moments, through patience, understanding, and love, will bring a sense of fulfillment that nothing else can replace. Isn't it worth holding on to our peace to experience that? Our youth, as we often reflect, is like an unfinished painting. Yet, as we age, we're given the opportunity to keep painting, adding layers of wisdom, patience, and grace. The energy we invested in our younger years, whether through hard work, learning, or building character, now serves as the foundation for the life we want to lead. So, we must ask ourselves, how are we using this foundation? Are we continuing to grow, or have we allowed ourselves to stagnate? Even after 60, life can be a journey filled with discovery. There's a wealth of knowledge to be gained, new friends to be made, and dreams still waiting to be realized. The notion that life slows down as we age is a myth. The truth is, it's a choice. We can choose to step back or step forward. By maintaining a positive attitude and staying curious, we open doors that others may have assumed are closed. That said, there are certain behaviors we need to let go of if we want to truly enjoy our later years. One of these is the habit of clinging to past grievances. Carrying old burdens only weighs us down and limits our ability to embrace the present. If we've learned anything through the years, it's that forgiveness, both of ourselves and others, is a path to freedom. Letting go of grudges lightens the spirit and allows us to focus on what really matters. Constant pursuit of perfection. By this stage in life, we know that perfection is an illusion. Chasing it only brings frustration. Instead, we should focus on progress, on bettering ourselves little by little, day by day. When we shift our focus from being perfect to being present, we not only become more content, but we also inspire those around us to do the same. We must also stop neglecting our health. Our bodies may not be what they once were, but they're still the vessel through which we experience life. Taking care of ourselves physically, through proper diet, exercise, and regular medical checkups, ensures that we can continue to participate in life fully. Health isn't just about longevity, it's about quality. What good is a long life if it's not lived well? Another pitfall to avoid is social isolation. It's tempting, especially as we get older, to pull back from social circles and spend more time alone. However, relationships, old and new, are essential to our mental and emotional well-being. Whether through family, friends, or community groups, staying connected keeps us sharp, happy, and engaged with the world around us. Loneliness is a silent thief that robs us of joy. We must actively fight it by nurturing our relationships and seeking new connections. Lastly, we must stop believing that our best days are behind us. This mindset is a trap that can lead to feelings of hopelessness or depression. The truth is, as long as we are alive, there are opportunities to learn, grow, and contribute. Life after 60 is not an ending but a new chapter, a chapter where we have the wisdom of experience guiding us toward deeper fulfillment and joy. If we want to live an exceptional life after 60, we must consciously avoid these habits that detract from our happiness and well-being. It's about making choices that align with the life we want to live, not just going through the motions. Don't underestimate the importance of health. Health is the foremost wealth in life, as it determines our ability to enjoy life fully, especially in later years. Good health is the foundation upon which our overall well-being stands. When we prioritize our physical and mental health, we open the door to a more fulfilling, vibrant life, even as we age. But to truly appreciate the gift of health, we must realize that it's not just about exercising or eating right, though those are crucial elements. It's also about embracing habits that respect the preciousness of life itself. These habits give us the ability to recover, adjust, and thrive. As we grow older, it's important to ensure we rest adequately, letting our bodies and minds renew. And perhaps more than anything, maintaining a positive, resilient mindset allows us to face the challenges of aging with grace. As the saying goes, gold may be valuable, but without good health, even the richest treasure pales in comparison. Prioritizing our health becomes a duty not only to ourselves but to our families, because the financial and emotional toll of neglecting it can be immense. As we age, cultivating beneficial habits is key to living a life full of energy and purpose. Now, we don't need to imagine habits as strict routines that confine us. Think of them as rituals, moments we create to nurture ourselves in mind, body, and spirit. These habits should evolve with us. For instance, the habit of greeting the morning not with haste, but with a calm, mindful presence, whether through a quiet walk, a few moments of meditation, or simply savoring a cup of tea, sets a tone of peace that reverberates through the rest of the day. The rituals we create at this stage of life should honor where we are now, focusing on self-care and embracing a slower, more intentional pace. This approach allows us to appreciate the beauty of this phase of life, with all its wisdom and depth. Movement is essential to aging well, but it doesn't have to be vigorous or demanding. We often underestimate how powerful small, consistent acts of movement can be. A daily stroll, gentle stretches, or even slow, mindful yoga can do wonders for our physical and emotional health. These simple movements keep our muscles engaged, our joints flexible, and our spirits lifted. The body craves motion, and by giving it the chance to move, we remind ourselves of the life force still flowing within us. Even more, regular movement supports cognitive health, boosting mental sharpness and emotional resilience. It reassures us that we are capable of growth and change, no matter our age. Nourishment is another crucial aspect of healthy aging. As we grow older, what we put into our bodies becomes even more significant. We should think of our meals as opportunities to nurture and heal ourselves from the inside out. Choosing whole, unprocessed foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, gives our bodies the nutrients they need to stay strong and energized. Every bite becomes an act of self-love, fueling us with the vitality we need to continue thriving. Being mindful of what we eat, and avoiding excessive indulgence in processed or sugary foods, helps us maintain balance and health. It's not about deprivation but about making choices that honor our body's needs and its changing requirements over time. Hydration is often overlooked, but staying properly hydrated is one of the simplest yet most powerful habits we can adopt. Water is life, and our bodies rely on it to function optimally. Many of the discomforts we attribute to aging, fatigue, confusion, dizziness, can often be traced back to dehydration. By making hydration a daily priority, we support our body's ability to perform basic functions, keep our energy levels steady, and maintain mental clarity. Drinking water throughout the day is a small action with an enormous payoff. It helps us stay alert, vibrant, and in tune with our body's natural rhythms. Sleep is another crucial pillar of health that becomes even more important as we age. Sleep is the time when our bodies repair, our minds process emotions, and our immune systems strengthen. Yet, many of us tend to overlook the importance of getting enough rest. In our later years, sleep can become more elusive, but it's more critical than ever. Developing a bedtime routine that encourages relaxation, whether through calming activities like reading, meditating, or simply enjoying a warm bath, can improve the quality of our sleep. This nightly ritual signals to our body that it's time to unwind, creating a peaceful transition into rest. The better we sleep, the more refreshed we feel in the morning, ready to embrace the day with renewed vigor. Mental stimulation is often overlooked as we grow older, but it's crucial to keep our minds active and engaged. Aging doesn't mean that our curiosity or capacity for learning should diminish. On the contrary, this is a time when we can dive into subjects that fascinate us, take up new hobbies, or challenge our intellect in ways that keep us mentally agile. Whether we're learning something new, solving puzzles, or exploring creative outlets, keeping the mind stimulated sharpens our cognitive abilities. It's not just about preventing decline, it's about continuing to grow, learn, and experience the joy of discovery, no matter how old we are. Don't overly prioritize relatives. As we grow older, it's natural for our attachment to family to deepen, as memories and nostalgia grow stronger with time. But we must be cautious not to place all our emotional well-being in the hands of family members. Sometimes, the very people we expect to be our strongest supporters may not always fulfill that role. It's a hard truth, but one that becomes clear as time goes on. Relying too much on family can create vulnerability. Remember, loyalty isn't exclusive to blood relations. Often, it's the people outside our family who can offer the most dependable support when we least expect it. We need to broaden our circle. Think about how often we limit ourselves by focusing only on family ties. Life opens up so many more possibilities when we connect with friends, neighbors, or even people we meet through community activities. Instead of just staying within the boundaries of our familial relationships, imagine how much more fulfilling life becomes when we create new bonds. For example, joining a local club, volunteering, or simply having a coffee with someone new can create a sense of belonging beyond family. These relationships can become just as precious, if not more so, in sustaining our emotional health. Our physical health should be a top priority as we age, and the simplest way to keep our bodies moving is by making walking a daily habit. It may seem like a small activity, but walking offers immense benefits, both physically and mentally. Picture yourself taking a leisurely walk in the morning, breathing in fresh air and feeling the rhythm of your steps. Not only does this strengthen your muscles, but it also clears your mind and helps you stay present in the moment. Walking can become a time for reflection or a shared activity with a friend, making it more than just exercise. It's a chance to connect with ourselves and others. Curiosity doesn't fade with age, and keeping our minds active is just as important as staying physically fit. We need to continue learning, questioning, and exploring the world around us. Think about the sense of accomplishment that comes from mastering a new skill or diving into a subject you've never explored before. Whether it's learning how to paint, picking up a musical instrument, or delving into history books, these pursuits ignite our minds and keep us mentally sharp. Staying curious about life keeps us engaged with the world and ensures we continue to grow, no matter our age. Solitude is something many of us may shy away from, but there's a beauty in learning how to be alone without feeling lonely. Solitude offers a space for us to reconnect with ourselves, to reflect on life's journey without the constant noise of the outside world. Picture yourself sitting quietly with a cup of tea in the morning, simply allowing your thoughts to flow without interruption. These moments of solitude bring clarity and peace, helping us process our emotions and make sense of our experiences. It's not about avoiding people, it's about finding balance and understanding that being alone can be deeply restorative. Regret can weigh heavily on our minds as we grow older, but it's important to recognize that holding on to past mistakes does nothing but cloud our present happiness. We all have moments in life where we wish we had done things differently, but those moments are behind us. What matters now is how we choose to move forward. Instead of letting regret consume us, we should focus on the lessons learned and the strength we've gained from overcoming difficult situations. By practicing self-forgiveness and releasing the hold the past has on us, we free ourselves to fully embrace the present. One of the greatest strengths we can cultivate is adaptability. Change is inevitable, whether it's our health, living situation, or the people around us, but those of us who are flexible and open to new circumstances will navigate these changes with grace. Think about how a tree bends in the wind without breaking. This is the mindset we need to adopt. Rather than resisting change or mourning what we've lost, we can look for the opportunities that new circumstances bring and adjust our lives accordingly. Humor is an often overlooked key to staying young at heart. Life can be challenging, and as we get older, those challenges don't disappear, they simply evolve. But one thing that can help us through it all is a good laugh. Think of the last time you laughed so hard your sides hurt. Those moments of lightness remind us that life doesn't always have to be so serious. Sharing a joke with a friend, finding humor in everyday mishaps, or even laughing at ourselves can lift our spirits and give us the resilience we need to face the harder moments. Generosity is about more than just giving material possessions. It's about offering our time, our attention, and our wisdom to others. As we grow older, we have so much experience to share with the world. Think about the impact you can have by mentoring someone younger or simply offering advice to a friend who's going through a tough time. Generosity also connects us to others in a meaningful way, reminding us that we are still a valuable part of society. Even small acts of kindness, like listening to someone who needs to talk, can create a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Joy is something we should actively seek, even in the simplest moments. Life doesn't always have to be grand or extraordinary to be enjoyable. Sometimes, Joy is found in the quietest corners of our day, a favorite meal, a beautiful sunset, or a heartwarming conversation with a loved one. We must make an effort to invite these moments of happiness into our lives. It's easy to get weighed down by life's challenges, but by consciously looking for joy, we remind ourselves that there is still so much beauty to be experienced. By incorporating these habits, building broader relationships, staying active, practicing curiosity, embracing solitude, letting go of regret, focusing on gratitude, and cultivating humor, we create a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful as we age. These practices not only help us stay physically and mentally healthy but also bring a deeper sense of peace and purpose to our daily lives. Aging doesn't have to mean slowing down or shrinking our world. It can be a time of growth, discovery, and connection, if we approach it with an open heart and a willingness to adapt. By nurturing these habits, we enrich our lives, making the years ahead not just bearable, but truly rewarding. Don't neglect saving money. Regardless of age, this principle holds immense significance, as financial stability is the bedrock of confidence, particularly as we enter retirement. How often do we reflect on the quiet strength that a solid financial cushion provides in our later years? It's easy to take financial security for granted, but as we age, having that safety net becomes critical. Without it, how can we expect to live comfortably and handle life's unexpected events with calmness? This isn't just about wealth, but about the freedom to navigate life's challenges without the looming weight of financial insecurity. Let's ask ourselves, are we preparing for the inevitable twists that life brings? In our later years, one of the most essential forms of respect we can earn from our children and from society stems from our ability to sustain independence. And how do we maintain that autonomy? By ensuring we have the financial resources to face whatever comes our way. With money set aside, we can handle emergencies, manage health concerns, and make decisions from a place of calm assurance. We all know someone who has struggled with financial instability and how that affects their peace of mind. Do we want that kind of uncertainty to shape our own later years? When we fail to save for the future, we risk putting ourselves in vulnerable situations. Something as small as a mild health issue can escalate into a major problem simply because we hesitate to seek medical help due to financial worries. The costs of healthcare can be daunting, and it's easy to understand why many people choose to put off necessary treatment. However, that hesitation can have dangerous consequences down the line. If we prioritize saving now, we can ensure that we'll be in a position to take care of our health without second thoughts when the need arises. Think for a moment about the emotional weight that comes with financial uncertainty. Without proper savings, we may find ourselves constantly worrying about unexpected expenses, whether it's a medical bill, home repairs, or unforeseen emergencies. Over time, this worry can chip away at our happiness, our peace of mind, and even our health. Do we really want to live with that persistent anxiety? Or would we rather invest in our future by setting aside what we can now, knowing it will grant us a greater sense of security down the road? As we grow older, we begin to understand more clearly that life's value doesn't come from material wealth, but from experiences, relationships, and health. Yet, having the financial resources to enjoy those things without fear is vital. When we save for our later years, we're not just preserving money, we're preserving our ability to enjoy life's moments without worry. We all deserve to live with dignity and grace, and having savings ensures we can do that, free from financial stress. The cost of medical care is one of the most pressing concerns for many as they age. Having a well-prepared savings plan ensures that we're ready to face these expenses without delay. When we have the confidence that comes from financial preparedness, we can seek treatment as soon as we need it, without hesitation or fear of the cost. This freedom to act promptly can mean the difference between maintaining good health and allowing minor issues to spiral into something more serious. Do we want to live with the nagging fear of what might happen if we can't afford the care we need? Financial security doesn't just benefit us, it benefits our loved ones, too. When we've saved and prepared for our future, we relieve our children and family of the burden of having to step in and provide for us. No one wants to be a burden on their loved ones, especially not in their later years. By planning ahead and saving what we can ensure that our independence remains intact, and our children can focus on living their own lives without the stress of worrying about our financial situation. Freedom. When we have savings, we have the freedom to make choices that align with our values and desires, not just our financial limitations. We can travel, pursue new hobbies, or even contribute to the causes and communities we care about. Financial stability opens doors for us to explore life in ways we might not have been able to before. As we enter retirement, it's not about slowing down, it's about seizing the opportunities that bring joy and meaning. And that requires financial foresight. Saving money now is also about safeguarding our peace of mind. There's a deep sense of relief that comes with knowing we have prepared for the future. We no longer need to live in constant fear of the what-ifs that come with aging. Instead, we can embrace each day with a sense of calm and focus on the things that truly matter: our relationships, our passions, our well-being. Isn't that what we all want as we age? To live fully without the burden of financial uncertainty? Think about the power of financial preparation in maintaining our dignity. When we know that we have the resources to handle whatever life throws our way, we carry ourselves differently. We make decisions with confidence, knowing that we won't be forced into difficult situations because of a lack of money. This sense of independence, this ability to stand on our own 2 feet, is something that grows in importance as we age. And it's something we can cultivate now, by being diligent with our savings. Our mental well-being is deeply connected to our financial health. When we are constantly stressed about money, it can take a serious toll on our minds and bodies. Chronic stress can lead to a host of physical and emotional issues, from high blood pressure to anxiety and depression. By taking control of our financial future now, we're not just securing our bank accounts, we're securing our health and happiness. Isn't our peace of mind worth the effort of saving today? We must also consider the legacy we wish to leave behind. Having savings in place allows us to provide for our children and even contribute to the causes that are close to our hearts. It's not just about accumulating wealth for the sake of it, but about ensuring that we can leave something meaningful behind for the next generation. When we save, we're not just securing our own future, but we're also creating a foundation of security for those who come after us. Our financial choices shape the lives we lead, both now and in the future. By choosing to save, we give ourselves the gift of freedom, security, and independence. It's about planning for the unexpected so that when challenges arise, we can meet them head-on without fear. Imagine living with the confidence that comes from knowing we are prepared for whatever life brings. Isn't that the kind of life we all strive for as we grow older? Financial stability offers us the opportunity to truly enjoy the fruits of our labor. We've worked hard throughout our lives, and now is the time to enjoy the rewards of that work. Whether it's traveling, taking up a new hobby, or simply spending time with loved ones, having savings in place allows us to savor these experiences without worry. We've earned the right to live with freedom and joy in our later years, and it all starts with the decision to save. In the end, saving is about more than just money. It's about protecting our peace of mind, preserving our dignity, and ensuring that we can live our later years with grace, confidence, and independence. By making the choice to save today, we're investing in a future where we can focus on what truly matters: our health, our happiness, and the relationships that bring us joy. Isn't that a future worth planning for? Don't become too obsessed with socializing. True confidants are rare in life. How often do we find ourselves surrounded by people yet feel like we're truly known by only a few? It's a reality we all must face. Though we meet countless individuals on our journey, only a handful truly understand us, and even fewer can be fully trusted. It's not that we should stop forming connections, but we need to recognize that not all relationships will be deep or lasting. Friendships come and go, some might be fleeting, while others will lack the emotional depth we need. As we age, we must be more intentional in choosing our companions, focusing on quality over quantity. As the years pass, the way we approach relationships should evolve. We no longer have the same drive to constantly expand our social circle as we might have in our younger days. Instead, this stage of life encourages reflection on the people who have stayed by our side, those who have drifted away, and what each relationship has taught us. Have we ever truly taken the time to appreciate the lessons each connection, no matter how brief, has brought into our lives? It's in this reflection that we begin to see the value of treasuring the relationships that matter most. Being selective in our relationships isn't about closing ourselves off from the world. Social interaction is still essential for our emotional and mental well-being, but we need to be discerning about the company we keep. Are the people we surround ourselves with lifting us up or bringing us down? Are they adding joy to our lives or draining our energy? These are important questions, especially as we age. The people we invest our time in should enrich our lives, offering support, inspiration, and genuine companionship. Friendships don't always last a lifetime, and that's okay. Longevity isn't the only measure of a meaningful relationship. We might have friends we've known for decades, but time alone doesn't guarantee a strong connection. Have we grown together or grown apart? Have our values and interests shifted in ways that make the friendship less fulfilling? As we mature, it's vital to surround ourselves with people who reflect the person we are now, not just who we once were. Relationships that no longer serve us. Sometimes, we maintain connections out of habit or a sense of obligation, but if a friendship is no longer fulfilling, it's okay to let it go. Holding on to toxic relationships can weigh heavily on our emotional health. Why do we allow people into our lives who bring us stress or discomfort? Often, it's the fear of loneliness that keeps us tied to these relationships. But in reality, we are never truly alone if we find peace within ourselves and nurture a few authentic connections. Simplicity becomes more important as we age. Life doesn't need to be filled with constant activity or an overwhelming number of relationships. A small, close-knit group of true friends is far more valuable than a crowd of acquaintances. With genuine friends, conversations flow naturally, and we can be our authentic selves without fear of judgment. There's no need to impress or maintain appearances. The older we get, the more we crave relationships that allow us to be at ease, where mutual respect and understanding form the foundation. The strength of our friendships lies in emotional connection. What good is a friendship if it's built on superficial exchanges? As we grow older, we yearn for relationships rooted in trust and respect. We're done with the trivial and the shallow. We seek authenticity, not just in ourselves but in those we allow into our lives. The people who listen without judgment, who offer comfort in difficult times, and who challenge us to be better, these are the relationships we should prioritize. We also need to be mindful of protecting our emotional well-being. By the time we reach our later years, we've likely encountered individuals who bring negativity into our lives. Whether it's through drama, gossip, or unnecessary conflict, these relationships serve only to deplete us. At this stage of life, our peace of mind should be our highest priority. We owe it to ourselves to distance from negativity and gravitate towards relationships that bring joy, tranquility, and balance into our lives. Gratitude is another cornerstone of meaningful friendships. How often do we express our appreciation for those who've stood by us through thick and thin? It's easy to take long-standing relationships for granted, assuming they'll always be there. But just like any other aspect of life, friendships require nurturing. A heartfelt thank you, a thoughtful gesture, or even just taking the time to reconnect can go a long way in strengthening the bonds we hold dear. Relationships, like plants, need attention to thrive. We must invest time and effort to keep them alive and well. Have we reached out to our closest friends recently? It doesn't take much. Sometimes a brief phone call or a simple message can remind someone that we care. Small acts of kindness and thoughtfulness can breathe new life into friendships that might otherwise fade away due to neglect. Even in old age, the effort we put into our relationships matters. However, while maintaining our existing friendships is essential, we should also remain open to forming new ones. Who says we've met all the people meant to walk alongside us in life? New connections can bring fresh energy, new perspectives, and a renewed sense of excitement. Whether through shared hobbies, chance encounters, or community involvement, it's never too late to meet people who can add meaning and value to our lives. Another significant aspect of aging is maintaining our physical and mental health, and the right friendships can play a vital role in that. Good friends encourage us to stay active, engaged, and curious about the world. They motivate us to continue learning, to try new things, and to embrace life with enthusiasm. Surrounding ourselves with people who inspire us to take care of ourselves ensures that we not only live longer but live better. Boundaries are also essential as we grow older. Have we ever found ourselves in situations where others have overstepped or made us uncomfortable, but we didn't know how to address it? Even in old age, setting healthy boundaries is vital. It's not about shutting people out, it's about ensuring that our relationships are based on mutual respect. When we communicate our needs and limitations clearly, we create an environment where trust and emotional safety can flourish. Be open to change. People evolve, and so do our connections. The friendships we once held dear may no longer serve us, and that's okay. Life is about growth, and sometimes, part of that growth is recognizing when it's time to move on. By letting go of what no longer aligns with our values, we create space for new, more fulfilling relationships to enter our lives. Our later years should be marked by wisdom and intentionality, especially in how we approach relationships. We deserve to surround ourselves with people who lift us up, who bring us peace, and who make us feel valued. True friendship is a gift, and as we continue through life, let's treasure those rare connections that make our journey more meaningful. Let's protect our peace, prioritize quality over quantity, and remain open to the beauty of forming new bonds even as we grow older. Don't be willfully optimistic. Regardless of age, there's a tendency in human nature to be excessively optimistic, especially when dealing with relatives. No matter how they treat us, we tend to be unconditionally kind to them. But what's the result of this? It often leads to exploitation and betrayal. Optimism may give the impression of being emotionally rich, but in reality, it only encourages others to take advantage or even disregard our feelings. At this stage of life, it's essential to set boundaries, even with family. Our kindness shouldn't come at the expense of our peace. We need to be realistic about how people treat us, recognizing that our time and energy are valuable. As we grow older, we often feel the weight of years in our bodies and minds, but that doesn't mean we should live passively. One of the most important habits to cultivate is an active and curious mind. No matter how old we are, staying mentally sharp can profoundly impact our quality of life. Engaging with new ideas, learning new skills, and keeping up with the world around us allows us to remain connected and relevant. There's a difference between accepting aging gracefully and allowing ourselves to fade into irrelevance. We can be old and still vibrant, engaged, and curious about life. In this stage of life, maintaining meaningful connections is crucial, but we must prioritize relationships that add value. It's not about how many people are around us, but the quality of those connections. Are they making us feel fulfilled, supported, and appreciated? We need to be mindful of where we invest our energy, because not everyone will reciprocate the same care. Fostering genuine relationships with people who respect and value us can add joy and richness to our lives, while distancing ourselves from those who drain us is an act of self-care. Physical health is a foundation of a fulfilling life, no matter the age. It's easy to let habits slip, thinking we've earned the right to slow down, but physical activity is vital for maintaining our independence. Simple routines like daily walks, gentle stretching, or even dancing in our living rooms can bring more than just physical benefits. They can uplift our spirits. Movement keeps us agile, not just in body but in mind. When we make physical activity a daily habit, we are sending ourselves a message that we're still capable, still strong, and still worthy of the best life has to offer. There's a common misconception that aging means we have to settle for a dull routine, but life can remain full of adventure. We might not be climbing mountains, but we can find joy in the small things, discovering a new hobby, traveling to a place we've never been, or simply exploring new facets of the world around us. The key is to stay engaged, to keep seeking out experiences that excite us, even if they are as simple as trying a new recipe or joining a local community group. These small acts of discovery keep our spirits alive, reminding us that life is not over until it truly is. Finances. Many older adults shy away from discussing money, either out of fear or a sense of burdening others. But being clear about our financial situation is crucial for peace of mind. Whether it's simplifying our investments, making a will, or even budgeting for daily needs, having financial clarity allows us to make decisions with confidence. We don't want to leave behind confusion or hardship for our loved ones, nor do we want to live in anxiety about our future. By addressing our finances with honesty and practicality, we secure our dignity and freedom. Purpose. Without a sense of purpose, life can feel empty, no matter how comfortable or secure we are. We need to wake up with a reason to engage with the day. That purpose might be mentoring the younger generation, volunteering, pursuing creative endeavors, or even just being present for those around us. Purpose gives us a reason to get up, to keep going, to push through the tough days, and to cherish the good ones. It anchors us to life, making each day meaningful, regardless of age. Cultivate gratitude. When we focus on what we have rather than what we've lost, our perspective shifts in powerful ways. Aging inevitably brings change, some of it difficult, but when we choose to acknowledge the beauty that remains in our lives, we foster a sense of inner peace. Gratitude doesn't ignore the challenges, it simply allows us to place them in a broader context, one that acknowledges life's gifts. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on our face, the laughter of a friend, or the comfort of a cherished memory, gratitude helps us savor the richness of life. Emotional resilience is another habit we need to strengthen. As we age, we face the loss of loved ones, health challenges, and other life transitions. These events can take a toll on our emotional well-being if we're not prepared. We need to remind ourselves that resilience isn't about ignoring pain or loss, but about learning how to navigate it with grace. It's about allowing ourselves to feel deeply while also knowing that we can rise again. Developing emotional resilience means practicing self-compassion and seeking support when needed, understanding that there's strength in both vulnerability and perseverance. Humor. Life can be tough, but laughter has a way of lightening even the heaviest burdens. It's not about avoiding seriousness but allowing ourselves to find joy and amusement even in the mundane. Humor connects us with others, lifts our spirits, and reminds us that life, even in its struggles, can be joyful. We should never underestimate the healing power of a good laugh, especially as we grow older. Sharing moments of joy with friends and loved ones strengthens our bonds and helps us face life's challenges with a lighter heart. Aging gracefully also means knowing when to ask for help. We're often taught to be fiercely independent, but there's wisdom in knowing our limits and recognizing when we need support. Whether it's assistance with daily tasks, emotional support, or simply having someone to talk to, seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's an acknowledgement of our humanity. By allowing others to help us, we strengthen our relationships and ensure that we're not isolated. There's dignity in recognizing that we all need each other, no matter how old we are. Embrace technology. It can seem daunting, especially if it feels like the world is moving too fast, but learning to adapt can open new doors. Whether it's staying connected with loved ones, managing our health, or exploring new interests, technology can enrich our lives in unexpected ways. We don't need to master every device, but being open to learning can keep us connected, informed, and engaged. The digital world is a tool, not a threat, and embracing it can keep us from feeling left behind. Focus on our legacy. At this point in life, it's not just about what we have achieved, but the impact we've left on others. We should think about the values, lessons, and love we want to pass on. This doesn't mean we need to leave behind grand gestures. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness, the lessons shared over a cup of tea, or the example we set through our actions speak louder than any material legacy. Our influence on those around us, especially the younger generation, can last far beyond our years, shaping lives in ways we may never fully see. We should give ourselves permission to rest. There's a difference between resting and giving up. Rest is about honoring our bodies and minds, recognizing that we've worked hard and deserve to slow down without guilt. It's about listening to what we need at this stage of life and allowing ourselves to enjoy peace and relaxation. We don't need to be constantly productive to be valuable. Sometimes, the most profound moments come in the stillness, when we allow ourselves to simply be, free from the pressures of achievement or expectation. Don't be overly soft-hearted. In life, some of us tend to take on the role of a good Samaritan, always willing to lend a hand and unable to refuse any request that comes our way. While this might seem noble, the truth is, this kind of behavior can bring unnecessary stress into our lives. And worse, it opens the door for opportunists who seek to take advantage of our goodwill. Take Paul, for instance. He retired and immediately became the neighborhood's go-to helper. People admired him for his kindness, but that very kindness became his downfall. After lending money to a local man, Paul's home was eventually broken into by that same individual. What this teaches us is simple: being kind is important, but so is knowing when to say no, especially as we grow older and more vulnerable. As we move into our later years, we naturally want to remain useful and connected. There's a part of us that finds joy in staying active, in continuing to give and share what we have with others. But there's a point where we need to stop and ask ourselves, are we giving too much? Are we opening ourselves up to being taken advantage of? You see, the key here is balance. We can still be kind without becoming a target. That's where wisdom comes in. As we age, we must learn to guard our generosity in the same way we protect our homes and our health. It's important to recognize that setting boundaries doesn't make us selfish. We often hear the word no and think of it as something negative, but really, it's one of the most powerful ways to take care of ourselves. When we continuously say yes to every request that comes our way, we can end up sacrificing our peace, our time, and sometimes even our happiness. By learning to say no when it's necessary, we are not only protecting ourselves but also ensuring that we have the energy and resources to help when it truly matters. Think about this: have you ever felt drained after helping someone too much? That feeling isn't just in your head. It's a real consequence of overextending ourselves. Our kindness, while valuable, can't be endless. And if we aren't careful, we'll end up with nothing left to give, not just to others, but to ourselves. We must treat our generosity like a precious resource. It's something to be shared, yes, but it also needs to be preserved. There's wisdom in knowing when enough is enough. We've earned the right to prioritize ourselves. We've spent years, decades, even, putting others first. Now, it's time to think about what we need. This doesn't mean we stop caring or stop helping. Far from it. It just means that we start thinking about how we can help in ways that don't drain us completely. We can still be there for others while protecting our own well-being. And that's the key: balance. We deserve to live our later years in peace, without the constant worry of fulfilling every demand that comes our way. Let's take Paul's situation again. What if he had set boundaries from the start? What if he had politely declined some of those requests? he likely would have spared himself the pain and frustration that came from being taken advantage of. Learning to say no is a skill, and it's one we can all develop. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. We might even worry that people will think less of us. But over time, we'll realize that setting limits isn't just for our benefit, it's also for theirs. It teaches others to respect our time and energy, which ultimately leads to healthier relationships. In our senior years, we need to be especially mindful of how we spend our time and who we allow into our lives. Not everyone who asks for our help truly needs it. Some people, unfortunately, see kindness as an opportunity to take advantage. It's not something we like to think about, but it's a reality we must face. By setting boundaries, we protect ourselves from those who don't have our best interests at heart. We can still be generous, but we must be discerning in how we give. There's an old saying that resonates with many of us as we age: you can't pour from an empty cup. It's a reminder that we must take care of ourselves before we can truly care for others. And part of taking care of ourselves is knowing when to say no. It's not about being unkind, it's about preserving our own health and happiness. The older we get, the more important it becomes to protect our energy, our time, and yes, even our finances. Another thing to consider is the impact stress can have on our health. When we constantly feel obligated to meet the needs of others, it takes a toll. That stress can manifest in physical ways, affecting our sleep, our mood, and even our overall well-being. We've spent our lives working hard and caring for others. Now is the time to focus on maintaining our own peace. Saying no isn't just about avoiding inconvenience, it's about protecting our health, both mentally and physically. Recognize the value of self-respect. When we allow others to constantly take advantage of our kindness, it can wear away at our sense of self-worth. We deserve to be treated with respect, and that starts with how we treat ourselves. Setting boundaries is a way of showing ourselves that we are worthy of peace and happiness. It's a way of saying that our time and energy are valuable. We've spent years building relationships, and now is the time to nurture those relationships in a healthy way. By setting boundaries, we not only protect ourselves, but we also teach others how to treat us. People will come to understand that while we are generous, we are not an endless source of help. They will learn to respect our limits, and in turn, we'll develop deeper, more meaningful connections with those who truly value our presence. Setting boundaries doesn't mean cutting people off. It's about finding a balance that allows us to help without feeling overwhelmed. We can still be there for others in a meaningful way, but we don't have to say yes to every request. In fact, by saying no when necessary, we may find that we are able to give even more when it truly matters. We can be kind without losing ourselves in the process. Remember that this is our time. We've spent our lives giving, working, and caring for others. Now, it's time to care for ourselves. We've earned the right to live in peace, without the constant pull of other people's needs. By setting boundaries, we are not only protecting ourselves, but we are also ensuring that our later years are filled with joy, health, and fulfillment. As we move through life, there's one habit that can truly shape the way we experience our later years. But here's the question: what's that habit for you? What's the one thing you believe will make all the difference as we age? We'd love to know your thoughts and hear your personal stories. So, take a moment to share in the comments below. Your experiences could inspire and teach someone else in ways you might not expect. Let's create a space where we can learn from one another and grow together. And if this video sparked something for you, be sure to hit the like button, share it with friends who might also find it helpful, and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss out on more insightful and life-changing content. Thanks for being here, and we hope the rest of your day is filled with positivity and inspiration.